The front of the tuck box is done in a metallic blue with tons of embossing. The white nicely contrasts the blue and the black background, and it looks like the ship is going into hyperspace. One side says, "May the Force be with you," and the other side says, "Luminous beings we are." The front of the tuck box says Star Wars playing cards. The bottom has Theory 11 and Disney ad copy. And you have a gorgeous shiny blue tuck seal. The inside large tuck flap says "Stay on target." And you have 2 ships on the inner tuck flaps. They couldn't print anything on the inside because of all the embossing. Now that's enough with the tuck box. Let's take a look at the cards. The back design is just a blue representation of the back of the tuck box. And the contrast between the whites and the blues is much better than the Avengers playing cards, also put out by Theory 11. And although I haven't ever seen a Star Wars movie in full, this is a deck of cards that would actually make me want to see a Star Wars movie. Your number cards have been slightly redone, just with a slightly custom font, and the pips have been redone to where they are cut in half, slightly reshaped, and the one half is going to be just cut in with lines, and one side is going to be darker than the other. But placement is going to stay the same, and the pips will be slightly smaller. Your 3 aces, first you have the Ace of Diamonds, you have a ship on this one. On the second one, I believe this is called a TIE Fighter, and then on the third one, I believe it's called the Millennium Falcon for the Ace of Hearts. You have 2 ad cards. The first one has Star Wars, Theory 11, and Disney ad copy on both sides, and the second one is your standard Theory 11 ad card. You do not have duplicate jokers, but they are both gorgeous. And the court cards have a different person from one of the movies on each individual one. Now, what I would like for you to do, even after watching all of these different court cards, is go to the comments section and name every single one. As I said before, I haven't seen any of the Star Wars movies, and I would love for you to educate me, because I might just watch it if some of you recommend it. Well, at least the ones of you that I trust with your opinions on court cards, because some of you guys like some wonky ones. And of course, last but not least, your Ace of Spades. Happy National Star Wars Day, May the 4th be with you. Get it? It's a pun, that's really the only reason I put out a review today. But just in case you want to buy any Star Wars deck, they're all 25% off in the description below for today only. If you're seeing this after May the 4th, it'll all be 10% off with code cardperfectmagician, but make sure to go through the link in the description. Now there's still things that you'll want to know about this deck before seeing if you want to buy it, even at the 25 or 10% off that you could get in the description below. So first off, can this deck Pharaoh? And it is a Theory 11 deck, so perfectly Pharaohing from bottom to top is what Theory 11 does. Now from top to bottom is where Theory 11 sometimes struggles, but at the same time with this deck, still just handles beautifully. The next thing you'll want to know is, how does this deck feel in your hands? Now first let's talk about the finish. It is just air cushion finish, which means everything is going to be handling as it should be when it comes to how this thing glides. Now when it comes actually to how it feels in your hands, there's 2 ways I can explain it to you. There's the thickness, and there's how it feels. The thickness is going to be a thicker deck. It is going to be on a premium stock. It is a Theory 11 deck, and they're usually a little bit thicker. When it comes to how it feels, there are decks that are more buttery, which work better with things like Under Pressure, and then there are things that are more snappy, which work better with things like Hot Shot and Backdrop and Flicker Shot, and then there you have really stiff decks that don't really move. Then of course there's things in between all of them. So I'd say this honestly just feels like a pretty standard deck. It has a good bit of buttery, it has a good bit of snappy. I can do just about any move with this deck. Now should you buy the deck, even though it is 10 or 25% off, and there are a lot of great qualities about this deck, should you buy it? It still just depends on you. So I'll give you a few things that could help you out knowing if you should buy this deck. So first, are you a magician? If you're a magician, you probably shouldn't pick this deck up. It's really customized. It's not really suited for magicians, pun intended. Although the numbers are easy to recognize, the courts are so overly customized that it might make it hard for spectators to notice on a quick glance. And at the end of the day, this isn't a deck that you probably want your spectators handling. It's more of a collector's deck. So next, let's go into collectors. Obviously, if you're a collector, you should pick this deck up. 1, it's Star Wars, which is an obvious no-brainer. 2, it's Theory 11, obvious no-brainer. And if you like collecting series, these are 2 series that work out great. At the end of that, if you just like blue decks, if you just like decks that have gorgeous back designs, or court cards, or a cool Ace of Spades, or non-duplicate jokers but are still artistic, all of these things, or if you just want one that just goes on a cool shelf like that. At the end of the day, this is going to be a gorgeous deck. It's also something if you like Disney. This is a deck that was produced by Disney as well. So if you like collecting cards, this is going to be a deck for you to collect. Now, if you're a cardist, this probably isn't the deck for you. There's just not much to say about that. If you like playing games with your friends, this probably isn't the deck for you. Not because it would be hard to read when you're just holding them in your hand, but simply because I probably wouldn't want my friends handling this deck. And is this a hype deck? Heck no. So as I said before, this deck is 25% off today in the description, or you can use Card Perfect Magician to get it for 10% off on any other day beside May the 4th. And if you like reviews, I put out a review every single week, and actually, because of today, I'm getting to put out 2. So if you like playing cards, this is going to be the channel for you. So subscribe and ring the bell so you can be notified when I put out a new review every single week. And that's all I can say for this one. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. This is Card Perfect, signing off.